Warning: the following content contains language that may be inappropriate for younger viewers. Viewer discretion is strongly advised.
Welcome to the Let's Get Heavy podcast, where we explore the realms of heavy music and have conversations with some of the most talented bands in the genre. In this episode, I got to sit down with Steve Skinny Felton of Mushroomhead to discuss the release of their upcoming album, Call the Devil, Mask Evolution, and along with the Geordie Challenge. So let's get heavy. Welcome you to Get Heavy UK. As I've just said, I am Stevie. It's awesome to meet you, and thank you very much for giving up some of your free time to chat with us today. It's really appreciated.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on the show, man, and really appreciate it as well. Super excited to get out there and start performing some of this new material and push this new album.
Excellent. And how are you and yourself? Are you okay? Doing okay yourself?
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you asking, man. Yeah, just trying to, keep my head straight. There's a whole lot of stuff going on. We start the tour next week. So, a lot of little details to get into place. So I'm just trying to, stay patient and, eat right, get some sleep,
Of course. Totally understandable. And it's been a busy time for the band in general. The new album, Call the Devil, due to drop on the 9th of August. What can fans expect from this new body of work?
There's definitely a lot to be said on this new album. If you're a fan of anything in the past of Mushroomhead, there's going to be a lot of similarities to it all. Album number 9. It's hard to say it has one style. There's many styles throughout. There's a lot of drama. There's a lot of violence. There's it's a big roller coaster ride, a lot like many of the other albums, but this one's a little more in your face. It has a little bit more attitude, and I think you can hear how hungry the band is post COVID. They had a lot to do with it as far as all those mixed emotions and vibes that we had coming out of the COVID vibe and the COVID thing, and then going into the studio and taking some of that, like I said, emotion and vibe and actually capturing it. It added to the diversity of the album quite a bit.
And that kind of shows just on the 2 songs that you've previously already released for this. Fall in Line, I believe, is one of them. Prepackaged, the other. They do seem a lot heavier than what you've originally released in the past. Which I absolutely love. Especially Fall in Line is absolutely a banging song, by the way. Absolutely love that bass tone. Just amazing. And Jackie's voice, wow. Amazing. Just fits so well. How does it compare to previous Mushroomhead albums for you, though?
I think you can definitely hear it evolving. I think more, if anything, with the times. Just because of like technology and being able to use different tones, and being able to get different sounds and different textures everywhere. I think this one we played around with more key changes and tempos changes than previously in the past. I know Wonderful Life had quite a bit to offer as well, but this one we kind of did it just because the album was recorded in sections, not just one continuous, like 4 months in a row. This one was done a couple weeks here, a couple weeks there. So it definitely captured individual vibes. So when we brought it together, it was really diverse. And like I had said, we played around with a lot of keys and tempos just to move it around and keep ourselves entertained, if you will, because writing in the same key, writing in the same similar tempos, it gets old after a while. So we think that really changed up a lot versus the last albums, definitely before A Wonderful Life.
Excellent. Can you elaborate on the concept or theme behind Call to the Devil? What inspired the album title and overall direction?
There wasn't like a general theme other than we are really excited to get this post-COVID thing over with and get back in the studio. I think the theme of this one, you can hear it on the album. There's a lot of hunger. The band is excited to be back in the studio, and we captured a lot of that raw emotion. I definitely hear that excitement on this new album. without a doubt.
Nice, nice. And the album artwork, very, very striking. Looks like it's got a bit of a devil holding a mushroom head type phone. I love the artwork. Who was the artist on the album?
So that's Blake Armstrong, and he's done a lot of different stuff with some heavy metal album covers. And that was a collaboration with Napalm Records. Actually, when we were throwing around our rough ideas and rough artwork and rough album titles, they really liked the title, and they had suggested Blake. And we didn't really go into too many details with him at all, other than, he knew the past of the band, obviously. And, here's the title. So that was his own interpretation, which was great, because that's kind of how we wanted it. We wanted to see someone else's take on what those three words meant to them.
Mm.
And it's interesting because when I see that, the demon holding the phone, it's like, okay, which one truly is the devil? Is it the technology or is it the demon itself? So I was like, nice play there. So it was really, really cool. And I think that title, it invokes thought in people, and everyone can look at it openly and objectively and have kind of their own meaning. But if you want to get into the literal sense, it's kind of when you do something you shouldn't do, but you do it anyways, like that late night booty call, or when you run out of drugs,
We've all been there.
That's when you call the devil.
100%. I do love that play, because, like you say, what is the devil? As much as social media is a great tool, it's also a nightmare on top of that as well. It's just
people can't put the thing down. You look at your screen time, you're kind of embarrassed, and then you look at your credit card bill, and you're like, I bought all this shit I don't need. People do it. So you can look at that technology as the devil all day long. I really like his play on those words.
Dangerous. Is this your first time working with Blake on artwork?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And again, just simply incredible. Right, the first thing he came back with, we were like, "Wow, look at that guy go!" But like, again, just kudos to him and the label. Napalm's been great to us. They, totally understand the band, give us 100% creative control. But even when we as artists, we can only take it so far sometimes. So we say, hey, do you have any ideas, or who are you working with lately? Like, we like to branch out as well. So again, a collaborative effort that really worked out.
Yeah, nice one. And I take it you already set on the name of the album, and you kind of just gave it to Blake, and he ran with it from there. Amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, call the devil straight away. So there's always a lot of anticipation for new Mushroomhead music. How do you feel about the response to the singles being released so far? Has it met your expectations?
So far so good. We actually performed almost 2 weeks ago at the Incarceration Festival here in Mansfield, Ohio, and huge festival. It was awesome. But we performed that Fall in Line track for the first time live ever. And
oh, wow.
I was pleasantly surprised by how many people were singing the words in the audience, like in the crowd. I could see them actually singing. I'm like, the thing's only been out, a couple of weeks or a month or whatever. The album's not even out yet, and you could hear them singing. That was really, really inspiring. Absolutely.
Excellent. Good to hear. Good to hear. And I can't wait for when you venture into the UK. Hopefully, coming to a city near me where I can get to see you guys again, because it's been too long. I think it's 2015 when I last saw you guys live, when you graced Newcastle. It was meant to be with American Head Charge, but sadly they had to pull out. But
yeah, I remember that. We get it. Shit happens, but
exactly.
Can't wait to get back.
Yeah, looking forward to it. It's going to be good. It's going to be good.
Yeah.
So Mushroomhead's iconic masks have evolved over the years. What inspired the latest mask designs for Call to the Devil?
Well, for starters, the 6 of the new sculpts were done by our new guitar player, Joe Gall.
Okay.
Yeah, super talented guy. And, part of it, especially with the members, the new or the older members, their newer masks, they kind of just evolve. They change shape a little bit. When you think of Mortal Kombat, you think of how, like, some of those characters, the same characters, they just look a little different or more battle damaged, or just, it's similar, but it, kind of different. And then with the new characters as well, like, a lot of that kind of stuff is it's very hands-on. We look at a lot of things for inspiration from, like I said, video games, comic books, movies. God, there's so much of it out there. Cool cosplay, conventions and cool stuff to make stuff with. So again, we're very hands-on with it, and like I said, inspiration is pretty much everywhere, in the sub and pop culture.
No, cool beans, cool beans. So, oh, Lord, no, how important is the visual aspect of Mushroomhead's identity to the band's overall image and message?
Well, I think it's, again, that level of, entertainment and what is the show that we want to, put on, whether it's live or a video. The visual aspect is very, very important for us, just because it's an extension of the art form. And not to mention, when you put on a mask, it's easier to become a character. And sometimes that character brings more, whether it's emotion or action out of you. There's something about it when you put that mask on that says game time.
Yeah, man. Yeah. We touched on this briefly before. How do you focus in the extreme heat conditions with those masks on?
Yeah, so the peripheral vision is pretty limited. Your hearing is pretty limited. You can't really speak. So there's a lot of hand signals. I mentioned earlier, when it's a festival and it's in Arizona at 2 p.m, it's 104 degrees. You have to ask, yourself, whose idea was this, right? Wear a mask, they said. It'll be fun, they said. So we find ourselves saying that before we go on stage quite a bit.
Yeah, maybe good in the winter time, keep you warm, but
yeah, but then again, man, some of those indoor clubs when you're playing, those types of shows,
yeah,
man, they're even worse because it's just gross and humid. There's no air moving around. So
yeah,
I don't know. Either way, yeah, the mask game is it's its own little beast up there.
yeah. We've got a little venue in the Newcastle area called Little Buildings, and it's literally a little building. It fits about probably max at 100 people, but when it's packed, when it's sold out, yeah, like shoulder to shoulder, and it's just icky, it's sweaty. There's no air conditioning or anything inside the premises. And it gets worse when it's sweaty metalheads when I take that tops off and then they're rubbing past you and it's like, no, do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, nasty.
Those make for great shows, though.
They do.
Those are the ones you remember, right?
They do, 100%. What? So with each new album, the masks seem to become more intricate and detailed. How much input do you personally have in the design process?
Yeah, like I said, we're very hands-on and a lot of stuff done here right in the studio. And sometimes it depends, but sometimes we'll actually have, the head cast done to our actual head so the eyes line up proper and the ear holes so we can actually hear. That always helps, but it's not always the case. So sometimes we'll sculpt something and get it and realize it doesn't even fit. So then back to the drawing board. So we're all pretty involved because they need to fit,
What is the standard process of creating a mask? So you're saying you're pretty hands-on. So do you just kind of
if you do a head cast, you get like a fake bald cap put on, right? And you get alginate put on your face, which is basically a silicone mold.
Mhm.
And then you peel that off. And then you make a mold of that. So then you'd have your face in stone or your whole head and face in stone. You apply clay to that stone mold of your face because now it's going directly to you. So it's in your eyes and ears and chin shape, head shape. A lot of us have bigger heads than we realize. So it's really important to get all of that stuff right. So once you've got that stone mold and then you've got clay on it, you can sculpt it however you want. And if you're going to make a latex mold, it's usually a 2-part, or a latex mask. It's a 2-part stone mold that goes on top of the clay. And then the clay is removed from the stone mold. The stone mold's put back together, and then you pour latex in it, and you end up with one mask. So it is quite the process to get to mask one, to make that mold. And let me tell you, anyone who knows what I'm talking about, mold making is an art in and of itself. So all you guys who make killer clean molds, Great job. Keep up the great work.
Wow, wow. And how many masks do you go through in an album cycle? Because I can imagine one or two of them may break during the
Yeah, there's a lot, like I said, that don't fit or they just didn't look as good on as they did when we were making them. Sometimes it just doesn't go with the flow. So typically, we like to change up masks, every couple of days or once a week on tour.
Mm.
So say in a month there'll be 3 or 4 sets probably that we go through, no problem. And a few backups because there's always something ripping or tearing or getting lost or
Yeah, yeah.
there's lots of them that have gotten lost over the years.
Oh, really? Really? Oof. Is that like just like through transport, or has any of them been potentially stolen by crazy fans?
Oh yeah, all of the above. I
All of the
had
above.
one. Yeah, I had one attached to the roof of a bus, and we were actually in Ireland, and there's a vent on the top of the bus when you go upstairs,
Mm.
and there's a vent. So I'd open it up, and my mask was gross, so I set it out on like the little ledge, so I could see it. I forgot about it, and we drove away, and so somewhere it blew off in Ireland. It's on the side of the road still. Who knows? But we never found it.
I'd imagine that'll be on.
It happens. Yeah, shit just happens, man.
So it'll be on eBay or something by now. Or some crazy fans still got it in their room.
Probably.
It's possible. Well, so looking back, Mushroomhead has had an amazing career, spanning back from '93. I hope I'm getting that correct. What are some of the proudest moments for you as a founding member?
I mean, my proudest moment is today being able to still do this. Album 9, not many bands hit 30 years and 9 albums. And, like I said, being able to recognize that this is what I get to do. Art and music is a privilege after all. So to be able to make art and music for a living, I'm truly blessed. But, when you think of the 30-year span, Lord, there's a lot of really cool highlights. I always think of the festivals throughout the years just because they're just such a cool environment. You're with a lot of other bands. You get turned on to a lot of bands. The networking is great because you meet a lot of people. So they're thinking of back to like Ozfest in 2001. We did it in the States. We did it in the UK, I think, and a little bit of Europe. Any of those, like Soundwave, we did in Australia in 2014. That was just a huge, amazing festival. Got to play with bands that you probably never get to tour with. Same thing with the Mayhem Festival in the States. Like a lot of like those. I mean, there's many more than just the festivals, but those come to mind.
Wow, that's amazing. The music industry has changed significantly since your Mushroomhead's inception. How has the bands adapted to these changes?
We've just been doing our thing. We're like, what's the next cool thing? What are what's cool now, kids? Tell us, and we'll make that too. I mean, literally, I started off making cassettes, with this band, and then CDs, and now you see vinyl coming back. So, we've seen, quite a bit of, every bit of the medium, I guess, in how to, capture it and get your product out there and get the music out there. And I think what's happened is really cool, man, because it's that much faster. The libraries are that much huger. You can get turned on to stuff you never knew existed, and there's always something new now.
Yeah.
Before the internet, we didn't know what was going to be new, and we were really subject to only what we were shown. We had like college radio was like our only hope to find good underground back when early '90s, late '80s. So like I said, the change in it has been crazy, and the amount of it's almost oversaturated. I will say that because it's hard to dig through stuff sometimes because there's just a lot out there. And I'm not going to say it's crap, or I'm not going to say it's great, but it's just oversaturated in certain areas without a doubt. So it's nuts how we've seen it grow just so huge. I'm really curious to see what happens with what's next for the music medium.
What is next? That is a very good question indeed. And you're not wrong with the oversaturation. It's insane because anyone can upload a song to Spotify, YouTube these days. It's just branching out and getting it out there, really, isn't it? That's the tough part.
Yeah.
So yeah,
being able to get out and support the product and the art in a timely fashion, and keep it relevant. I mean,
Mm.
I think that's been the biggest goal, the whole time, even from day one, is keeping, the band relevant, the brand relevant. I used to
Yeah.
say, how do I pimp my band today? Like I can make this thing the biggest possible. So it's crazy that the abilities are all out there now, but again, the oversaturation is a factor.
Nice, nice. And you touched on vinyl. I'm glad vinyl's coming back. I've got my Mushroomhead Call the Devil vinyl pre-ordered. And sadly, I won't get to listen to it on the 9th because I'm at Bloodstock Festival when it comes out. Um, but I'm looking forward when I get back and be able to spin it. I got the red one, the red splatter type. Yeah, it's that's a beautiful vinyl that. So
Napalm again, man. They really appreciate
yeah,
packaging. They really understand the band and just like the creative vision of it. So when they had some vinyl options, I was like, yes, that looks awesome.
it does. It looked beautiful. I was just scrolling, looking, and then I was just going to get the black vinyl, but then I saw the red one appear, and I was like, nope, 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 nope. That one. I want that one. It absolutely beautiful. Can't wait for that to arrive in the post. So as you know, we do have a new album coming at you on the 9th of August. But after that, what is next for Mushroomhead after the release?
We start August 9 in Bochum, Germany
Mm.
for a short run. I think we do 12 shows in a row. So we actually are performing the first night that the album comes out. And then after a couple shows in the UK, back to mainland Europe for a few more. And then it's back to the States. There's a festival in Michigan at the end of August. And then October, we go out in the States for like 3 or 4 weeks, actually.
So when the album comes out, it's all go straight on the road, straight on tour.
It's go time here in a few days.
Yeah. Yeah, because we've just 1st of August today. So yeah, album comes out in 9 days roughly. So wow, amazing. So any messages for the fans, for the areas that you're attending?
For all the fans, man, I can't thank you enough, whether you've been here for 30 years or, 30 seconds. Thank you so much for your support and your interest. We're just going to keep doing our thing. And I think that's what we've been doing for 30 years, trying to keep up with the times and just continue to just do what feels right to us. So we're really, really thankful for everyone's support and understanding and sharing this vision of metal that we all have together. And we really, again, are looking forward to getting out and playing some new material and just seeing some people, man. It's been a minute. So we're really excited and hungrier than ever to get out on tour.
See some old faces that you've made from friends over the Europe and times, etc. But
absolutely,
on behalf of those fans, because I am a fan just as much, thank you, mate. Thank you for the music, because at the end of the day, this music's endless. Do you know what I mean? People like yourselves just give myself endless joy. Every day every week there's a new song out. So I thank you personally. Do you know what I mean?
It means a lot. Thank you.
Keeps
again, sharing that passion and wanting to share it with the world. And
yeah,
metal's cool, man. It's still cool. I love it. I knew it was a metalhead the minute I heard it. So here we are.
100%, 100%. I cannot agree more. It's my first love, my first passion. Do you know what I mean? I've loved it since I've gotten into it back in the mid-90s because of my old man who introduced us to Venom here in the Newcastle area, of course, and Iron Maiden, and straight from there, obviously it got worse. got introduced to Linkin Park, and then downhill from there, really. Yeah.
But, you think of when all that happened and just how bigger and broader our selection and our options became. So it's really cool. There's so many awesome new metal bands that are out there now, and just heavier than heavy with these, like I said, with technology and these new sonic sounds and tones. Like metal's never sounded so cool. So I love the whole craft of creating and engineering and all that stuff. So to think of the evolution of metal from, say, Venom to now, like, and you listen to the sonic qualities of these bands, man, there's just incredible stuff out there, and blessed to be part of it.
You've been quite hands on with this album, haven't you, as well? Because you've done production as well as a bit of engineering. Is that correct?
Yeah, I've been an engineering nerd since day one, and it's definitely, like I said, I got a passion for the craft like no other. So I'm really into, mic trees and compressors and seeing how certain mics react with certain people's voices. And, everyone's got their own specific little setups for certain sounds and certain voices they use. And yeah, we're really into that portion of it over here.
Oh, wow. Wow. Definitely a DIY type style band, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you mix and master? Do you send that off to somebody else?
No, yeah, we always send off for a mix and then someone else for a master. That separate set of fresh ears. At the end, they can kind of put things into perspective that you may have either overlooked or you just didn't see the forest through the trees. And sometimes maybe you've got too much shit going on, and they're like, "Hey, man, I can't make this sound good. Some of this shit's got to go." So like having other people, help at the end of it. Like I said, fresh ears, man, it's great. It's absolutely a blessing.
Get in. So, a question that I've accidentally missed. Is there any collaborations on this new album?
I think the whole thing is a collaboration because there's so many of us. We get too many cooks in the kitchen sometimes, so we all have to, like I said, kind of collaborate. And like I just mentioned, sometimes we got too many things going on, so we have to break things down and let other people kind of almost seem, spotlighted, if you will, for a section or a moment. And with our singers being so versatile and so many like so much ability for different tones, like sometimes it sounds like 4, 5, 6 different people sometimes, just because you're not sure, like, one guy's doing 3 different voices, and sometimes it's a completely different voice from anything you've heard on the album prior. So
Yeah.
like Stevie, he's amazing. He's really interesting the way he can turn a phrase. His lyrics are really twisted, and man, his abilities, he's super brutal, he's super creepy, and then he's super clean. Like it's amazing. I love working with that guy.
Nice, excellent. Any guest spots from outside of Mushroomhead?
No, not on this one. Other
Not on
than
this one.
Gravy, Gravy was I guess our guest because he performed on 2 of the songs and actually helped write the majority of those 2 songs as well. So yeah, I guess Gravy would be the guest on this one, and we hope that he can join us on more shows that are closer to home. He actually did that Incarceration Festival with us a couple of weeks back, and it was great to have him.
Will he be on your debut show on the 9th?
No, he will not be on the tours. Possibly on the Ohio Cleveland Halloween show, but we're not guaranteed yet. We don't know his schedule.
That's fair enough. Fair enough. And I'll not keep you too much longer. Any surprises going to be happening while on the road, or is that going to be kept secret?
I think we're in for our own set of surprises because we're not really sure what we're doing for a set list still. We have a couple different ones, and we haven't been able to pick one. Album number 9, if you take 2 songs off every album, that's 18 songs, and we're going to be here for a minute. And those aren't always everyone's favorite songs, so it's been kind of tough. So I think you'll be as surprised as we are by the set list.
I was just about to say, how with a back catalogue like yourselves, how do you create a set list for a live show?
Yeah, sometimes, like I said, it's tough. We'll put one together and then we'll rehearse it and realize that as popular as those songs might have been or whatever, they just don't flow in this new set like the right way. So we'll either rearrange the songs or just drop them and try something else because, there's no shortage of, hey, we need something heavier right here instead of slower, So we just go to this giant catalog and grab some.
I suppose it depends on the city or town that you're in as well, does it?
Yeah, there's that, and if we're headlining, if it's if we're main support, if we're only getting a half hour, then we really have to decide, what type of production is included, because you can get slower and doomier and creepier if you have production. But if you're in the daylight and you get 25 minutes, man, you just want to power through it. So it really depends on the environment, and that's what's great about Mushroomhead. We can kind of adapt to anything.
That's brilliant. Thank you very much, Steve. I do appreciate it, your time. So, briefly, are you feeling adventurous?
Always.
Always, excellent. So, here in Newcastle, in the UK, we've got quite a distinct accent, what we're known as Geordies. I know you've played Newcastle back in 2015. So, I was just going to see if you were open to try 2 Geordie challenge questions.
Sure.
Geordie challenge. So basically, what it is, I'm going to give you 2 phrases or sentences in our accent or in our slang terms, and see if you can guess what it would mean in standard English. You up for that? So
Yeah, this would be fun. I'm a creative guy, so we'll come up with something.
get in. Right, first one. Purely belter.
Can you say it in a sentence, please?
In a sentence. So, that Mushroomhead Call the Devil album was purely belter.
Oh, fucking terrible, mate.
No, not quite.
No? Okay.
No.
Do I get another guess?
Yeah, sure, go for it. Get as many guesses as you like.
Well, it can't be absolute shite, or you just would have said it. So, it is all right, I guess. I don't know.
It's great. Great.
Oh, all right, cool.
Great.
Close enough. Thank you.
So that's how we would say it. That was purely belter, that album.
All right.
So
I'll try to remember that one. Compliments, man. I like this.
So, last one for you. I'm gannon yem.
Okay, and in a sentence, please.
In a sentence. So, after that Mushroomhead show, I'm gannon yem.
Oh, I'm gonna shit my pants.
Not quite. That's brilliant. Could it be though?
Kebab fucking ruined my stomach.
Oh, yeah. I've had a few.
Something like that.
I've had a few iffy kebabs in my time.
Yeah, it's kind of our thing. Every time we go, someone gets the bad stomach. I mean, there's 10 kebabs on the bus after the show. It's like, no, one of you guys is
That's brilliant. But not quite. No, it's no. I haven't got the shits or anything like that. If you want another try, or
no,
you go for basically going home.
Okay.
I
gotta go home and shit.
You've got to go home and shit after me.
I gotta get home. All right, I was close.
Steve, thank you so much for your time. It is really appreciated.
Thank you too, man.
That's no
again sharing the passion of metal and sharing the passion to share all this shit with the world. I feel the same way. So thank you.
That's no thank yous. No thanks is needed. Like I say, it's absolutely an honor to be speaking with yourself. I can't thank you enough. So we like to end our interviews just like this, Steve. The rules of the pit are the rules for life. When someone falls, we pick them up.
Damn right. Look out for your brothers and sisters out there, man.
100%. Anything you wish to plug before we call it a night?
Again, man, Call the Devil, Napalm Records, comes out August 9th. We're going to be in a town near you, hopefully. And again, man, I hope you guys like it as much as we do.
Yeah, excellent. Looking forward to it, man. Thank you so much.